Well, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I hope you're in the mood to sing along today, because we have a couple of, I think, fun songs to sing. You know, we're looking this month at the themes of light and dark, and it's not as easy as you would think to pick songs that say good things about the darkness, and that's with the light, you know. So I said, I didn't think things like Wild Nights would be a good song. We're working on the night moves. Probably not right. But then, of course, Spirit said, why don't you look at a few things by Cat Stevens or Paul McCartney and Bob Marley. And so we're going to have you sing along with us today. And the first song we'll put up is Moonshine. I tell you, it is. All right, we'll try this again. Some people call our moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. Living hopping on a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. And if I ever lose my hand, lose my plow and lose my land, and if I ever lose my hand, away, I won't have to worry no more. If I ever lose my, and obviously we're on a rough start here. Try these. And if I ever lose my eye, if my color's all gone dry, if I ever lose my eye, away, I won't have to cry no more. Let's see blue jacket. I'm feeling all by a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. Living hopping on a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. If I ever lose my legs, I won't know I won't beg. If I ever lose my legs, away, I won't have to walk no more. And if I ever lose my mouth, all my teeth both north and south. And if I ever lose my mouth, away, I won't have to talk no more. It didn't take long to find me. I asked the faithful light. It didn't take long to find me. And I didn't want to stay the night. Oh, I'm feeling loved by a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. Leaving and hopping on the moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. Moon shadow, moon shadow. Moon shadow, moon shadow.
Pass out some rhythm instruments. You know, you can make rhythm instruments out of anything. It doesn't have to be plastic things. So we made some things. Other people have made things. We have sticks. We have little boxes. You can get a drum or a shaker. And just think of that reggae beat. Now that's reggae beat.
And Priscilla needs a tambourine. Oh, there we go. There you go.
Woo, I'm doing my damn right now. Here we go. I don't know how that works.
Different tones and sounds, which is all good for reggae. There you go. And this is going to be a pretty simple beat. And it's just gonna, it's like boom, boom. You'll hear it in a second. And the first song, of course, Cat Stevens actually wrote that song when he was sitting by a dock in Spain. He grew up in West London and had never seen the moon, the shadow of the moon, because everything was, London's 10 million people and everything's lit up at night. And so he had never really seen the shadow of the moon. And it was a song about being grateful to just be in the moment. You know, what you have now, and if you lose things, you know, life will be different, but it's that positive attitude. And so is this one. This was a little bit like the sun, and it's a little bit like Reverend Steve said, you know, walk through the dark valley, but don't pitch your tent. So
buy a condo or a t-shirt, right? Everyone wants to talk about condos and t-shirts.
So this song, I know you've heard it. Don't worry about a thing. Every little thing is gonna be alright. Don't worry about a thing. Oh, every little thing is gonna be alright. I got up this morning, smiling at the rising sun. Three little birds, perched on my roof, singing sweet songs. A melody pure and true, singing, this is my message to you. Don't worry about a thing. Every little thing is gonna be alright. Don't worry about a thing. Every little thing is gonna be alright. Woke up this morning, smile at the rising sun. Three little birds, come out my doorstep, singing sweet songs. A melody pure and true, singing, this is my message to you.
And this is my message to you.
Select your instruments there.
Good morning. Welcome to the Grants Pass Center for Spiritual Living. You guys having a good time or what? All right, just please return your items to the center so we can be collected. Can't say we're not having a good time here. Well, welcome to the Grants Pass Center for Spiritual Living. I'm Reverend Steve Van Meter, your senior minister, and it's my honor to welcome you here this morning. I know you have a lot of places you can be in consciousness on a Sunday morning, but you found yourself here. This is the place to be. You made it, you got through the week, and there's a beautiful week planned for you. Well, we have a beautiful service planned for you, and we're going to do what we do every Sunday morning, and that's recite our vision mission statement, which says that we are an open, loving, spiritual community dedicated to evolving consciousness through teaching spiritual principles. Well, we have some announcements this morning, and you can follow along in your handout, but go ahead and put the first, we're going to try this. We've been trying to do this. Would you like to share your time and talent with GPCSL volunteer positions are available in the bookstore, in the AV department, running our Zoom and soundboard, spiritual gardeners, if you want to work on our grounds, we need assistance with that, kitchen angels to help put out and clean up afterwards, and greeters and people to help welcome people who come in on Sunday. So. Okay, our center made a donation to the Josephine County Food Bank in the amount of 43 pounds of food and $26 cash. We got a nice leather bag, and I don't know if you know that every month we, as a board, donate to a place in Josephine County on behalf of our center. Community gift. We received a thank you from the community gift that we gave last month. What was that? That's right here. And this is from the Canine Angels teams. And it says, thank you for your generous contribution of $25. Donations such as yours will help Canine Angels continue its mission to raise and train exceptional dogs for children with special needs, promoting the children's independence and providing a better quality of life through Canine Connection. So thank you. We support that. You need to be aware of what you support when you support us. We support places in the community because you have to keep it going, right? That's how tithing works. Is you get given something and you give something and then they give something and so on and so on. April's community gift went to Hearts with a Mission, and go to the next one. We recently created a new Zoom link. So people have been having a challenge getting on our Zoom, and we just want you to know that we've created a new Zoom link because our other one expired, and we didn't know that it expired. So we were thinking we're broadcasting and nothing's going out anywhere, we realized. So if you are having a challenge, go to our website and click on the new link, and that's where you want to click in for us. Okay, go to the next one. Welcome to our new members, Vajra Ma and Serena Peterson. Welcome. We are growing. We are continuing to grow. Next slide. Would you like to be a GPCSL member yourself? Membership applications are available. They're in the seat backs in front of you, and they're also on the back table if you would like to be one of our members. They're also available on our website. There's a place if you click, and you get a free 6-month digital subscription to the Science of Mind magazine if you do become a member, and that's through our CSL home office. Upcoming events, we have a special event planned for Saturday, May 27th. That's next Saturday at Hummingbird Creek Farms Bistro. From noon to 3 o'clock, live music provided by Treja and the Jam Session Players. And we'll have appetizers and pizza and salad, and refreshments will be provided for just $15 per person. You can contact Chris, this is Chris down there, or Treja, who's in the back right there, for more information. But we'd really like to get a good group at Hummingbird Farms next Saturday. And if you can come out and support us and just have some fun with us and listen to the music and just have a little, spiritual gathering together, that'd be great. Okay. Our very own animal expert, Ann Southcombe, is going to give us a special tour at the Wildlife Images on June 10th from 10 to 2. Please bring a sack lunch. Sign up is in the back, and Ann will be gifting her book, A Wild Life, to those who attend. And I think it's between $12 and $15, something like that. There's a fee to it, so it's not on here, but there is a small fee. Okay, and Sunday, June 18th will be our service out on the lawn, a special potluck in honor of Father's Day. Bring your picnic, blankets and chairs and a favorite dish to share. Our community fun fair is going to be a total blast. Treasure hunt for kids, live music by Treja and GPCSL Choir, and I believe the players, the jammers, barbecue by our very own Ralph and Paula Peterson, misting cooling station, amazing local vendors, as well as unique presentations and healing art services. Bring your friends and your family for a very fun day. Contact Wendy for vendor and presenter applications. They're also on the back counter. And the deadline for applications is June 1st.
Well, we could extend it if needed, but
We could extend it,
just are
just
trying
get it
to-
in and we'll go from there. But if each one of you brings one person, we will have even more fun. So if you can invite one person to experience our fun fair, please come and enjoy with us. And I think that's it. Is there more? Oh, Chris is sponsoring a GPS CSL collective art booth and is calling out any of you who have arts or crafts that you would like to contribute. We're asking for a 10% donation back to the center. Please contact her for more information. And I think that's it. No, we got more. There's so much more happening. Metaphysical book study is in the conference room from 9 to 9:45 every Sunday morning. If you'd like to join us, we're studying Ernest Holmes' book, Living the Science of Mind. It's very fun to kind of have a pre-service before the service, if you'd like to do that. And our meditation group is every Sunday morning. Our practitioners facilitate that. It's 15 minutes. And it is over at the LEC, but we may be moving that into the conference room so that we can just, we go from the book study to the meditation. We're still trying to work out the logistics of that, but that happens from 9:50 to 10:05. Please join us. Now, we're done, okay. And what is the next slide, just so I know? Oh, we are going to stand as Chip and Bucky lead us in singing We Are One.
We are one. We are one. I am you. We are one. And in this unity, we shall live in harmony. As peace has come, as we are one. We are one. We are one. And in this unity, we shall live in harmony. As Jesus come, as we are one.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Deborah Purdue, one of the licensed practitioners here, and I welcome each and every one of you. Let's read the gratitude together.
I appreciate the twinkling light of the stars made visible by the darkness of night. I am so thankful for the balance and unity of life, and so it is.
A little bit about the practitioners and who we are for new people. Practitioners are the healing arm of our center. Our main job is to pray with and for you. To fill out a prayer request, use the yellow form in the seat backs in front of you. If you are online or on Zoom, you can also submit a prayer request on our website at gramspasscsl.org. We are dedicated to your confidentiality and healing. We have taken several years of Science of Mind classes to become licensed practitioners. And then we get to teach classes, the same classes and other classes and workshops here at our center. If you are in need of prayer, please contact one of us for a short affirmative prayer after our service, or you can contact one of us individually for a professional practitioner session. Our phone numbers are in your program and online and even on business cards at the practitioner table. So I want to say that well, first of all, who's available to pray after the service? Treasure, Bucky, me. And whether you have an issue to resolve or just want to experience more good in your life, we are here for you. Use us. Our table practitioner for today is Treasure Wiley, and she's holding the high watch for us, just sending everyone love and light and peace and joy. And she can direct you to a practitioner after the service. The amazing, gorgeous flowers are from Chris Strong. She got them from Schultz Winery, where she works, and they have zillions of irises like this at the place, and they have them out and we're willing to give them to Chris for our service. Thank you, Chris. Is anyone here for the very first time? If so, please raise your hand. Welcome. Reverend Steve has a welcome packet for you. A reminder to turn off or mute your cell phones if you haven't already. And let's read the prayer together on the screens. I honor the bright, illuminating light that is always shining, and I honor the depth of darkness that helps the light shine. I honor balance and wholeness everywhere. I honor the light and darkness within me, and so it is. And so now we'll remain seated and sing I Am Love.
love of God is in my life.
Okay, so it's time for our, I'm gonna do a reading and then we'll go into a short meditation together. And when I think of darkness and light, I think of yin yang and that symbol of the black half of it and with a white dot in the middle and the white with the black in the middle. So that's what this is about. And this is written by Deborah King. And she starts with a quote, which I'll read. So just sit back and meditate upon this, and then we'll go into a silence together. The dance between darkness and light will always remain. The stars and the moon will always need the darkness to be seen. The darkness will just not be worth having without the moon and the stars. That was from C. Joy Bell. I've always been intrigued by the Chinese symbol for yin and yang, the black and white circle divided into two teardrop-shaped halves, each containing a smaller circle of the opposite color. This simple symbol is so profound and expresses so much. Balance, flow, transformation, and the opposing forces of nature that make up almost everything. Yin and yang elements are expressed in pairs. The moon and the sun, female and male, darkness and light, hot and cold, good and evil. The elements stay in balance and are not static or separate. Instead, they are complementary and relative to one another because they come from a common source. Just like the yin and yang symbol itself, the nature of yin and yang lies in the interchange and interplay of the two components. Like night flows into day, the opposite forces in yin and yang flow into each other. It is said that the nature of yin and yang was first recognized by Fu Shi some 8,000 years ago. He developed the principles of yin and yang, which provide an explanation of the laws of nature that govern the universe. According to his principles, the actions of yin and yang apply to every facet of life and are expressions of everything that exists in our universe. Lao Tzu, the Taoist sage, tells us that one polarity cannot exist without the other. If there is no light, there is no dark, no up without a down. He writes, under heaven, all can see beauty as beauty only because there is ugliness. All can know good as good only because there is evil. He asks, is there a difference between yes and no? Is there a difference between good and evil? Meditate on yin yang and Lao Tzu's words for a few minutes, and you will see how understanding and embracing the concept of yin and yang allows you to suspend judgment on any one component as you realize that the forces in your life are in a constant state of change and that they balance and flow exactly as they are meant to. And it's time now to come back to this room and open your eyes as you feel called to. And I'll speak a word for this Grants Pass CSL service today. I am knowing absolutely that the oneness of God is within and all around us, everywhere equally present. I'm feeling the light and the dark, the love and the beauty, the good and the evil, and all that is within the circle of life. I'm so grateful for this. I know that this service is blessed and that we are a loving, open, warm, living, thriving community of spiritual seekers and fighters. I'm so grateful for this. I let it go and let it be, and so it is. So it's time for our special music and a message from Reverend Steve. Thank you.
This is probably one of many people's favorite songs, but I don't think that, I can't think of a better song about light and darkness. We're gonna try it. Actually, we're gonna do one, try it, we're gonna do it. But it's good. Angelo is gonna start it off and play. I know you'll recognize it right away. And it's just gonna sound, hopefully, you'll enjoy it because these guitars are tuned differently. Which means they're in the same key, but the strings are different. So here we go. First singing in the dead of night, faith is broken arms and learn to fly. All your life, you're only waiting for this moment to rise. First singing in the dead of night, take these broken eyes and learn to see. You're only waiting for this moment to be free. Black bird, fly, black bird, fly. It's the red dark black night. Blackbird fly, blackbird fly, into the light of the dark night. And the blackbird thunder at night, take these broken wings and learn to fly. All your life, you're only waiting for this moment to rise. You're only waiting for this moment to rise. You're only waiting for this moment.
Beautiful. Beautiful. That's not an easy song to pull off either. Let's hear it again for Angelo. And Chip and Bucky, who always bless us with their presence. So here we are, another Sunday morning, right? Almost the end of May. Wow, can you believe that? My title this morning is Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. How I wonder where you are. Stars shine brightest against a dark backdrop, like in the evening sky. You know, right when the sun goes down, you can see actually some of the planets that kind of come up first. But it's because the night has come upon us that we can see the stars. You know that during the day, the stars are still shining? No? They only turn on at night? The beautiful glow of the stars calls forth the deep richness of the night sky. And as they co-create the magnificence, it creates that crisp, shiny, beautiful evening that we enjoy. Even when there's clouds, stars are still shining. Even when there's clouds, the sun is still shining. Like today, there's a nice dim vitality, isn't there? It's that little bit of haze, kind of cools things down. It's kind of nice after the heat. But light and dark, they coexist together. And they cradle each other in support, because there is not one without the other. They each have their own traits and characteristics, and they may seem to operate independently, but they are the same thing. Just like there's really no dark side of the moon. You know, it's all the moon. It just, we only see one side of it. Generally, we have learned to embrace the light and to avoid the darkness as bad. Ooh, it's bad. Evil, right? Deborah was talking about evil. Well, what is evil spelled backwards? Live, live, whatever. But when we live life backwards, it can look dark. We're looking at it differently. If we can look at our challenges as stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. You know, I had said last week, you know, that growth is mandatory and suffering is optional. And someone said to me, well, sometimes suffering is not optional. And what I meant to say was staying in the suffering is optional. You know, if we're still hurting from something that happened years ago, and this is not to take anything away from the grieving process, because the grieving process takes as long as it takes. You know, someone may say, well, if you were in a relationship for 4 years, you'll grieve for 8 or 2 or whatever it is. There is no set number, people. There is no formula. Grief takes as long as it takes. And when it comes, you need to be there for it. Because if you don't experience it completely, it will reemerge when you least expect it or want it to come forward. That's why it's good to, you know, get into it. Grieve. Let the tears roll. Let that darkness just fade away. Let it go. It's okay. You know, we have this thing about, you know, well, big boys don't cry. You know what? Big boys do cry. It's small people that think that they can't cry, that stuff it down, and then it explodes. So lightness and dark work powerfully together in a synergy. Stars are still shining in the daylight, but we cannot see their twinkle without the darkness of the night. Just as the water in the ocean is always glistening and sparkling, but we can't see those sparkles in the waves without the illumination of the light. The illumination of the light is what gives things their shimmer. Just like in a diamond ring, if it was in the dark, you may not see the sparkle. It takes the light to catch those flaws within the diamond that catch your eye. There's this complementary partnership of light and shadow that illuminates the richness of each. While it may seem that one may overpower the other, actually one cannot be seen without the support of the other. They work together. When we can appreciate both, we welcome levity of light and the depthness of the dark to create balance and wholeness. And this isn't always just done in your eye. It's done in the body of your affairs. Sometimes we don't see something that's really good for us until we've experienced its absence. You ever had something that you took for granted and all of a sudden it went away and you realized how much you loved it, how much you cherished it, but at the time it was just just taken for granted a little bit. This is why when we have something that we really love, we need to speak that and say, I love you. I love this thing. I cherish this moment. Because when you look back later, you want to go, you know what? I cherished it while I had it, not afterwards. Wholeness embraces all aspects of the truth. A continuum requires an openness to gain perspective from both sides. Fear and faith, feminine and masculine, darkness and light, anger and peace, joy and pain. We can learn from these depths of what the shadow has to offer. Our ongoing experience is lighter and brighter, better and better. I like to say it's the calm before the calm. You know, people say it's the calm before the storm. Ooh, what's coming next? When's the other shoe's gonna drop? What if it's the calm before the calm before the calm? What if you saw it differently? That even if the second shoe dropped, at least you have two shoes now. There's a balance and an equilibrium within the wholeness of life that encompass both sides of that spectrum. It's not a binary situation of either this or that. Instead, it's an all-encompassing inclusiveness that embodies this and that. When you can make your plate bigger, you know, you don't have to push anything off your plate. Just make your plate bigger. Get another plate. The teeter-totter and the scale must have an equilibrium and balance, so the whole thing is skewed. Even when the mystery within the unknown, we can embrace it through the awareness of the spiritual laws and how they work. And when we understand these spiritual laws and how they work, we're not tripped up by them. Our spiritual tools and our tool belt help keep everything in balance and in alignment. What if you were to begin your day with prayer so that if something did come up in your life, you were already prayed up? Pray it forward. Pray it forward. Just go, you know, whatever's going to come my way today is going to be part of a blessing. Even though I may not see that at the time, I know that what the human condition means for challenge, the infinite means for good. Source energy is here to support us. Your angels, your guardians, your guides, they're hanging out, waiting for you to know that they're there and say, hey, I'd love to get a little assistance on this. Calling in a miracle. Have you called in a miracle before? And you got yourself here this morning. For some of us, that's a miracle. I know it is for me. We can overcome any fear with a consciousness of faith. If we can embrace the shadow with love, we can release any sense of ominous challenge in order to better balance the light within this darkness. We can tackle any challenging topic or situation with openness, accountability, and a willingness to learn from the depth of the dark abyss in order to achieve enlightenment. Hey, lighten up. Enlighten up. Right? When you enlighten up, all of a sudden, the things that used to challenge you are part of your greatest yet to be. They're not a stumbling block. It's a stepping stone that makes you stronger. When you can look back and go, you know that challenge? I am so glad that that happened the way it did, or I wouldn't be where I am right now. All of a sudden, the universe goes, hey man, he's good with whatever we send him. Let's send him some good stuff, see what he does. So we can we can tackle any challenging topic or situation with openness, accountability, and that willingness to learn. Are you willing to learn? Are you open? You may say, oh yeah, but don't change anything on me. We're so interesting people. I want things to be different, but don't change anything in my life because I'm freaking out. But I want everything to be different, but don't touch my life because, you know. So here's my 3 talking points. Shadow play. Our shadow is part of our true self that is illuminated by the light. And when we walk in the light of day, at certain points, we can see our own shadow, you know, in the morning, in the afternoon, but if it's midday, you don't really see your shadow. And the shadow is an outline of our body and can also apply to other objects. When we wear a hat, it's part of the shadow too. Or a costume, you may see your shadow when you wear a costume and go, whoa, oh yeah, I'm wearing a costume. I think our spirit does that every time it sees the shadow. Oh yeah, you're in a body, that's right. When we move, it moves as if it's following us or mimicking us. Even when we don't see our shadow, it's still there, just like the stars are there at night. An eclipse is the shadow of the moon on the sun. When we can think of our shadow metaphorically, we can imagine that the shadow or the dark side of our being is always with us, whether we acknowledge it or not. And when we can allow it to be fully seen and bring it into the full view, it outlines us without the details of our expression, yet it has movement and expression. Our shadow is alive, and it moves with us in mimicry from a different vantage point. What does our shadow have for us? What can it reveal about our true, authentic self that we may not readily want to express? Ouch. You don't want to see that side of me. Oh no, that's reserved for me when I'm at my darkest. Our shadow is a great partner that can help reveal the rich diamond flakes of our underneath self, our soft white underbelly, or blue oyster cult, if you know what I'm talking about. Blue oyster cult was that band, you know, Don't Fear the Reaper.
Yeah.
Song. Well, when they would play clubs in LA, they would go under the name Soft White Underbelly, so that they wouldn't have millions of people coming. Only people that knew the code would come to see them. Number 2, the color of the shadow. The full suite of colors in the rainbow include those that appear to be colorless and neutral, like clear or beige, white, black, and gray. And even those colors don't appear to have color. They are colors themselves, just different than the more vibrant colors. But there's a beauty in all colors. If we shift our perspective to the more all-encompassing and inclusiveness, our view expands to include everything as part of the spectrum. For instance, take the introduction of flesh tone Band-Aids that make up, or makeup, or nylons. For years, there was only a few shades available of these products. How did this make those people feel that had different color of pigment? And now our society is expanded to be more inclusive, to imagine different colors of Band-Aids. Now they have, they're like stickers now for kids. They've got all sorts of sayings, Batman and all sorts of stuff. I'd love to have a Batman tattoo. I'm a tattoo. Wow. One of my, gotta watch what you say there. Dark has always been given a bad rap until now. Darkness is part of the light, baby. Enjoy it. There's nothing better than going out camping. And when you're away from all the lights and looking up and just seeing the Milky Way, just all of a sudden you feel like the size of a grain of sand. And that expansiveness takes over. Isn't that the best? When we can explore all the colors of the rainbow, even the colorless or neutral colors, it allows for expansion in consciousness, inclusion and incorporation of one of the seeing through the multiple lenses that we have available to us. Number 3, fireworks and light shows. Public displays of fireworks are often used to celebrate and acknowledge holidays and big community events. Typically, these are shown at dusk or in the dark so that we can see them best, just like the stars. I mean, have you ever seen a fireworks show in the day? Not so good, unless you've got something that has smoke or something you can see. We used to use, remember those little snakes, this thing called the snakes? Light them and they. But real fireworks need to be done at night, just like the stars. That's the best way to see the twinkling in the sky against the night backdrop. Fireworks shows are best seen against this dark backdrop of night. The light and the dark partner together and highlight the various colors and patterns of the fireworks display. How about the aurora borealis? Be hard to see that during the day. You have to see it at night. Now you may be able to see a little tint of green or something going on, but at night is when that natural skylight displays all its beauty against that dark sky. So we need the darkness. The darkness is part of us. What if we were to embrace it and love it and not be scared of the dark? I'm scared of the dark. It's scaring me. It's afraid. I'm afraid. That's why I still sleep with a nightlight. This unique color magic is special in its own right, yet it needs the partnership of the darkness to witness its depth and its light. Our lives are the same way. If we can get past the scary monsters that we were socialized to believe in, that create mysteries and fear of the darkness, then we can better witness what this twilight has to reveal, so that we can bring it into the light of a new day. What are your monsters? What are your things that need to be transformed into the light of consciousness? Or instead of monsters, what if we call them moon stars? What are your moon stars? They're just things that you don't understand. But once you see them in the light, they're not so scary. It's not so scary. That's just a jacket hanging in the closet. It's not what you think. And you know what takes the sting out of any challenge is knowledge. Once you figure it out, it's not a thing to be feared anymore. It can be celebrated for what it truly is and has to offer in our life. We can sleep well at night, not wondering if that boogeyman, if that moon star is going to come out and get you. Stars twinkle brightest against the backdrop of this darkness. The contrast of one accentuates the beauty and the color of the other. The dark and the light are a pair that dance simultaneously together. And if we can allow this darkness to be demystified, then we can open our minds and our arms and welcome the depths of the brilliance of what it has to offer. there is something to be known. If we can allow ourselves to free fall into the seemingly forbidden abyss of the darkness, we can discover the light that is within the shadows. As we allow our eyes to adjust to the darkness, we begin to see things differently. When we've been in the darkness for a little while, you can actually see pretty good. What I've noticed is that if I get up in the middle of the night and I try to make my way to the restroom, if I keep my eyes closed, I know where everything is in my house better than when I'm trying to figure out with my limited view. Try keeping your eyes closed next time you're fumbling around in the dark and trying to see something, and just see what happens. Now, be careful not to kick the dog or the cat or your toe against the bed frame. But take a moment and just center yourself and go within and keep your eyes closed and know, because you know your home very well. You can get around in the dark, and you do it all the time. Those of us that might wear glasses don't want to, put them on in the middle of the night to use the restroom. You figure it out, right? You step over the dog or the cat. Remember that the dark is part of the universal presence, and we stand in oneness with it as we embrace and appreciate standing in the darkness as a natural part of life, because it is there that we find the beauty of the darkness and the light together as one. The twinkle of a star then takes on an even different meaning. And so it is. Thank you. For us to follow our teaching and go within and remember who you are. So if you'd like to close your eyes and go into that darkness, if that's comfortable for you, or keep your eyes open and focus on the beautiful flowers or the candles or something that takes you deeper. Let's remember who we are. So I invite you to bring to the forefront of your consciousness of what you choose to believe the creative energy of the universe is to you. What brought you here? What beats your heart? What is breathing your body right now? The source energy, the Christ consciousness, the divine flow of life is what we have found ourselves caught in the midst of. And as we relax into it, we invite in the healing and the revealing of source energy. And all of a sudden, the things that used to boggle our minds are worked out. There is always an answer. There is a way through whatever you're walking through if we continue to walk. A healing is only one prayer away, but we must believe. We must be in life. Believe, be in life in such a way that we are part of the solution and not part of our own challenge. So I invite you to step off your own air hose so that the divine circuits may flow easily and effortlessly as who and what you are. And as we do, the miraculous healing energy naturally comes and extends itself as who and what you are. And for this, we are all well blessed. So we release this word directly into the living, loving law of mind, where it is already done, as we affirm this by saying, and so it is. Amen. Thank you. It's time for our offertory ideas about sharing. So if you'd like to place your gift on your heart or just your hand on your heart today, if that's what you're offering, let's recite this together. I give to this center, knowing that all that we give is shared in a wonderful and beneficial way. And so it is. Amen.
Today, it's so hard for me to say if the road that I will lead me right. Here, here, it comes to go here that I get closer to the lights. With my bird straight and it seems like I'm surrounded by God. Along that dark road, if I'm getting close every day, I start with a compass in my heart, and it helps keep the road inside. And as I go forward, looking for my my bird straight in the wings, and I feel like I'm just surrounded by the night. Well, I want my travel on that dog. If I know getting closer. With my bird on string, and I've been done new. Found by the dawn. I want my travel on that dog. If I get I don't my travel on that dog. If I know getting closer to light.
Well, it's time for us to say a prayer for our offertory this morning. From the love of pure spiritual energy, these tithes and gifts have been collected. They're evidence of our faith, our belief, and our ability to manifest in this world of form. They do good work in this world. They bless the giver and receiver. They allow the Grants Pass Center for Spiritual Living, to be open and available to those who are choosing to remember who they are, and even those who may not know it yet. And for that, this community thrives, and we are all blessed. And so it is. It's time for our closing songs. If you want to stand up, let's sing.
Yes. And we're gonna be flexible here because I played this yesterday practicing on organ. But I'm a little button challenged here on this thing. So we're gonna just do it on guitar, and chorus is definitely gonna help us, because I know for a fact that this week I heard Priscilla and Chris Strong sing this song. Not meant to do the darkness alone, as we always say. When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light you see. Well, I won't be afraid. Be afraid. Just as long as you care about. Oh, so won't you stand by me? Oh, stand by me. Won't you stand by me? Stand by me. One more time. Won't you stand by me? Oh, stand by me. Oh, won't you stand? Okay, join hands and sing it once more. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand. Oh, you stand by me.
Please repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening right now.
Something wonderful is happening right now.
It's happening in my mind.
It's happening in my mind.
It's happening in my body.
It's happening in my body.
And it's happening in the body of my affairs.
It's happening in the body of my affairs.
I think it.
I think it.
I feel it.
I feel it.
And I know it.
I know it.
Just the way that it is.
Just the way that it is.
Just the way that it is not.